Ooh, it's Friday.
Hey. Hi, this is Latoya Jackson with WNOV 60 AM, Be a Voice with Wisconsin Voices. And I'm with my co-host.
I'm Joe Dre from Wisconsin Voices.
And there we go. And we have an amazing guest here today that does amazing work in the community. And we have a couple of things we want to talk about with the community today. We're going to get into that debate on the next half of our show. But right now, we want to talk about some important things to do to make sure that we are satisfied with the person that get in office from watching that debate. So well, I would like to introduce my guest today, well, our guest today, and her name is Mabel Lamb with Sherman Park Association. Hi, Mabel.
Right. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing today?
Doing
Good,
well,
and
thank
you,
you.
Mabel?
And hello, community. All right. So
Mhm.
I guess I'm supposed to be doing all talking for a little bit. Um, as Latoya introduced me, my name is Mabel Lamb. I'm the executive director of the Sherman Park Community Association. And we are located in the Sherman Park neighborhood. We have been in existence for the last 53 years and always helping, advocating, and supporting the community. Um, some of the things that we have coming up, one thing I definitely want to make sure that residents throughout Milwaukee come to is our National Voter Registration Day, which will be held on Tuesday, September 17th. We have a lunchtime session from 11 until 1. And then we also have another session from 3 to 6. So we want people to come out. If you're not registered to vote, this is the perfect time to come and get registered. We will have support there from Wisconsin Voices
Mhm.
to help make sure people get registered, update their information. If you changed your address, if you just turned 18, we want to make sure you are registered to vote so we can all participate in this very, very important election that's coming up November 5th. So that's the main
Yes.
thing we got going. And
Hmm.
we're doing that in collaboration with the Sherman Phoenix. They're located 2 doors down from us. And we're working with them to make sure that people have a great and wonderful experience getting ready to support this next election coming up.
So let me ask you, Mabel, because I am very inspired by you. I have been working with you for some years now, and you have adopted some polling places in Sherman Park, and you have been consistently there for I could say at least the last 10 years, five at the least. You have been there. You make sure people experience at the polling place is peaceful. You help them guide them through the process and make sure that we don't have people frustrated and leaving and turning around. So how was that? How did you get involved with that?
So thank you for that question. That's a really good question. It's something that's really important. I think a lot of nonprofits, churches, organizations need to know of. The Sherman Park Community Association has been hosting a polling site at the Mary Ryan Boys and Girls Club. I've been there since at SPCA, I will say, since 2018. And prior to me getting to Sherman Park Community Association, we've been hosting that polling site. And right now we have a 4 ward polling site. We have tremendous volunteers that come out. We have about 30, 35 people that come out to help with
Wow,
the
that's amazing.
election. Oh, yeah, they come every election and they come to support the community to make sure people are registered, to make sure we don't have long lines. We want to make sure that people aren't disenfranchised. So we make sure that we have somebody in place to greet you when you come in the door. We do have curbside voting to make sure that if you are disabled or don't have access to come inside of the building, we will come out to your car
Mhm.
and make sure that you get a ballot and that you can vote. So we do have that polling site, and it's been in operation for, I would say, at least the last 10, 12 years. and we work in collaboration with the City of Milwaukee Election Commission. So kudos to the city for allowing us to do this. But this is really important so that um, people in the neighborhood do have access to vote, and making sure that they're comfortable, no long lines, and that people can cast their ballot appropriately.
So you've been doing this for quite a while. What are some of the differences that you've seen when you first started doing this, maybe to this election cycle? Have there been any differences, or something that really stood out to you, maybe some kind of exceptional challenge?
You know what? I wouldn't so much say it's been so much of a challenge other than COVID. When,
Mhm.
during COVID, it was hard to get people out to man the polling sites. And I think one year there was an election, there were about 5 polling sites open in the city. And
Okay.
so that year we weren't able to have our volunteers present. But as things started to open up, um, the city of Milwaukee provided us with protective gear, so we were able to still be able to do that polling site. We had masks there. We wiped down the election station so that germs weren't transmitted.
Mhm.
But other than that, we always have
It,
people that come
it's
and willing
business
to
as
help. It's business
usual, huh?
as
Yeah.
usual. Yes,
Great.
indeed. We always have people that come and help us, so we appreciate that.
Awesome. Awesome.
And I can say, because I have been up there quite a few times, and for a person that's we have a lot of people that when they're registering to vote and they don't get the proper information in right, or they get their information in and something happens between the registration and the election commission, they get very frustrated and they be
Mhm.
want to turn around and I'm not coming back to vote. And Miss Mabel is so pleasant with I watched how she no. We gonna get this information in. We gonna cause we need your vote just like you need to vote. You need your voice heard. So
Mhm.
I think she does some amazing work in the
Mhm.
community, but that is one of the major highlights of me working with Miss Mabel. And then let's talk about the year we went out and canvassed together. That was so
Oh yeah,
beautiful.
that was during COVID too.
Rain, sleet, or snow.
Look, we were hitting those doors, Latoya, and thank you for being a trooper. Latoya came out into the community. We hit a whole bunch of doors,
Mhm.
and it was cold, it was snowing, it was raining,
Mhm.
but and it was cold. So we were able to hit a lot of doors to remind people to vote. I think we had door hangers that year
Yeah.
with the election site, early voting sites, as well as the date for people to come out and vote. But thank you for that, because I didn't forget about it, but I kind of tucked that back in my head. But yes, indeed. So I thank Wisconsin Voices for providing that support and lending a hand to help us get out there to outreach to the community.
And we thank you for the amazing work that you do in the community because you be
Mhm.
literally out there. We came to support you because you literally be out there and have a team of people with her.
Well,
Like,
that's determination,
yeah.
especially going out in the wintertime in Wisconsin and knocking on doors and
And
making
it's,
sure folks
I
are
mean,
registered. That's determination, and that's a love for your community. And
real determination, Joe.
wanting
It'd
to
be
see
like
that
30
they're.
degrees out
Yeah,
there,
yeah, I know.
raining on you, and it's 30 degrees.
But it's folks like that that continue to make this process easier, and allow for folks to have more access to voting, which I think is all of our goals here. We want more folks to have their voice heard and to have easy access to voting and registering. So great job for you and your organization.
Thank you. Yeah, we want easy access to the polls.
That's good. So, do you have any up and coming events besides the National Voter Registration Day?
As I mentioned, we have National Voter Registration Day coming up on Tuesday, September 17th at the Sherman Phoenix from 11 to 1 and again from 3 to 6. So that's coming up Tuesday. So it's about
Mm-hmm.
4 or 5 days away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, we do have on September 25th, we're going to be hosting a greening community dinner for one of the neighborhoods. We are trying to make sure we are including and informing and educating residents on all of the IRA rebates. That's the Inflation Reduction Act, so that people can get um, rebates if you're putting in insulation, if you're putting in a new furnace, if you're upgrading your lighting, electrifying your stoves, things like that. So we're going to be having that meeting at Bethel Bethany Church on the 25th. Then after that, on October 1st, we're doing a pop-up at our office. We were granted some dollars from um, the United Way.
Mhm.
I don't want to mess up their name. It's United Way of Greater Milwaukee and Waukesha County. But they provided us with some funds to create some lead safe home kits for families. Our target audience is 4 to 6 years old. And so we're inviting our residents to come out and pick up a lead safe kit. Um, the kits have a mask in them, they have a Swiffer, they have a variety of things, instructions to make sure that people know how to remove lead from your window sills and off your floor and carpeting and things like that.
Mhm.
So we're going to be distributing those kits. And then on October 5th, we're going to have a plant sale.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
We
nice.
like plants.
I do
We
too.
do a plant sale in the spring, but we're also doing this plant sale to support our agency. We're doing that in collaboration with the Sherman Park Coffee Shop, and we'll have mums for sale. We'll also have bulbs that people can plant for spring, or we plant them in the fall. Spring bulbs like tulips and daffodils
Mhm.
and hyacinths, things like that. We plant those in the fall and then have a beautiful assortment of flowers come spring. So there'll be live music there. We'll also have some voter information at that event.
Okay.
So we want to make sure that people come out, turn out, and show up, because this election that's coming up November 5th is very important. So you will see us even more out in the community this fall.
Great, great.
Fantastic.
So I see y'all have some amazing things going on in the community, and it's
Mhm.
really helping to beautify the community, especially with the plant sale.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, some great stuff going on. So within your organization, how many people do you say per in your community do you reach and touch?
So the Sherman Park community is made up of 6 different neighborhoods. It includes Uptown neighborhood, Sherman Park neighborhood, Roosevelt Grove, Grassland Manor, Sunset Heights, and the St. Joseph's neighborhood. With that 6 neighborhoods, our boundaries go from Capitol Drive to North Avenue and then 30th Street to 60th. There's a little corner carved out in the southeast eastern section that is part of another neighborhood, which is Metcalf Park.
Okay.
And we are good neighbors to them, so we always try to support them as well. But those are our boundaries, and we are going to make sure that we're doing some outreach. We'll be doing some canvassing in the area as well for the election. And we have about 29,000 people that live within those
Okay.
boundaries. So those are the people we serve.
Okay, because that's a large amount of that's a large amount of our community,
It
Mhm.
is.
and it's kind of uh uh uh, uh weird environment. On what I mean by that is half of the neighborhood you have transit, like apartment the duplexes where people can move in and out, and then the
Mhm.
other half you have people that live in their homes that's been there for years, that is actual historic neighborhood, some parts of it. So that Sherman Park is a beautiful and amazing area, but it is actually one of our biggest areas of community where you have both. You have people that can either move in or not move in and out, and you have people that actually been there a very long time. And
Mhm.
as one of the major high schools here, Washington, I went to there. I was pergola.
Okay, Pergola. That's the other purple school.
Yeah. So Sherman Park, we really appreciate the amazing work that you do
Mhm.
in Sherman Park.
Thank you.
We
And
really,
I,
really
I
do.
want to do a shout out to Wisconsin Voices for helping power all of our events by providing funding for making sure we get registered people to vote. We want to make sure we do that. But as you were saying about the neighborhood, we do have a beautiful housing stock collective, as I would say. We have three historic districts. The interesting thing about our neighborhood too is that we're served by three different alderpersons. So we
Okay.
have Alderman
Wow.
Stamper, Alderman Deon, DeAndre Jackson, and Charlene Moore. So all of them service our community, and we have two different police districts,
Yeah.
District 7, District 3. So it's a pretty big collective of
Yes, it
everybody and
is.
stakeholders.
Sounds like a
Yes, it
really a
is.
crossroads of the city,
It
It
is.
honestly.
is.
Yeah.
It is actually the center of the city.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Sherman Park holds a big part of a lot that we do in the community. I remember when we had the riots up there, where we had to um, voice ourselves. I hate that we have to use violence with it.
Mhm.
I would prefer for us to continue to, keep
Use our
use
voice.
our voice in a way that we can be heard without
Mhm.
violence and without destruction of tearing up one another's properties and carrying on. But it's one of our historic neighborhoods that
Mhm.
when we really have anything going on, you definitely gonna see us in Sherman Park.
Right.
Yeah, we
Right.
got a lot going on there. We were doing a lot around reckless driving
Mm.
because it was affecting our community.
Mhm.
We have a couple state highways that run through the neighborhood:
Hmm.
Capitol Drive, Appleton, Fond du Lac. So we really have been working to slow down the traffic too. So that was a big part of the work we've done too.
Great.
Okay.
Great
I
work.
gotta ask you one last question, then we gonna go to break. How did you feel about did you watch this debate?
Okay, yes, I did watch the debate. Um, as a representative of the community association, I do have to stay nonpartisan.
Yes.
So, but I did watch it, and I found it to be very interesting. I was glad that some fact checking happened
Mhm.
because I think it's a disservice when the truth is not told,
Right.
and
Yes.
Right.
when people can continuously tell untruths, half truths, better known as lies.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we need to make sure that all of that gets put in check.
Yep.
But I did watch the debate. I found it interesting. I was hoping we'd have another one.
Right.
I
Right.
was
So
Yeah.
too.
yeah,
I hear we're
Yeah.
not
so
now, but
I feel like it'll do us
yeah.
some justice. It'll do some other people some justice too to get a little training. But
yeah, I was hoping we would be gifted with another session, another debate, because I know that people do need to know who the candidates are, what
Mhm.
they stand for, what they believe in, how they're going to help people in this country to grow, have other opportunities. So I think the debates are really important.
yes, they
Yep.
are. It
Yep.
actually gives an insight on how that person is and how they'll be representing you.
Hmm.
So yes, truly. Well, thank you so much for
You are
coming, Mabel.
welcome.
Thank you so much.
Again,
Yeah.
Sherman Park will be hosting their voter registration, and it's going to be at the Sherman
Yep.
Phoenix, on Fond du Lac, at 36 in Fond du Lac, actually.
3536 West Fond du Lac Avenue.
Okay,
Right.
3536 West Fond du Lac Avenue.
Mm.
And we're asking people that is not registered to please pull up, and someone will be there to assist you with getting your registration done. So and that will be in between the hours of 11 and 1 and 3 and 6
Right.
on Tuesday, September the 17th.
Yes, ma'am.
So we would enjoy to see people that need to
Mhm.
be registered to come out, and you can pull up, and someone will be gladly there to assist you with getting yourself registered to vote. So everybody that wants their voice heard can definitely have your voice heard.
Mhm.
And thank you so much, Ms. Mabel, for coming. Do you have any last words?
I think my last words to the community is to make sure you come out. Excuse me, as you had just mentioned, is this election, as all elections, are very important. I know many of you may just vote in the presidential election, but all elections and politics are local. So if you have kids at MPS, you need to be voting for your school board
Mhm.
representative.
Mm-hmm.
If you live in the neighborhood, whatever neighborhood, you need to vote for your alder person. You need to vote for the mayor, your city attorney. You need to participate, have your voice heard, so that if you don't take the time out to vote, but you sit around and complain, we don't want to hear that.
Mhm.
You need to come to the table and you need to vote.
Yep.
All right,
All
you
right.
said it right there,
That's it.
Mabel. Because that's exactly how I feel, sis.
Uh-huh.
If you don't exercise your right to vote, I don't want to hear your complaints because you did not help our cause. So there's no reason for you to have nothing to say. You was okay with whatever's going on if you don't vote. So thank you so much for joining us, Mabel.
You're welcome.
Hopefully we'll see you again. We hope to have you back at least Monday to come
I'm
and
gonna come back
remind
on
Yep.
people.
Monday to
All right.
remind
Yeah,
All
people.
right.
And
yes,
you'll see
yes.
it on social media, Facebook and Instagram and Nextdoor account. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on. So you will hear about this event. Please show up.
All right, all right. Well, we're gonna take a break. This is Latoya with Be a Voice with Wisconsin Voices, WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. This is Latoya with Be a Voice with Wisconsin Voices, WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. Um, that was an amazing segment there with Miss Mabel Lamb from Sherman Park Community Association. Does great, amazing work in the community, and they're a part of our national voter registration events days. So we're actually going to have a drive up event. You want to tell them about it, Joe?
Yeah, we plan to have some folks right there at our office at on 27th Street, um, right in the back parking lot. Just pull right on up on National Voter Registration Day. They can just pull up. We'll have one of our canvassers out there, and they can sign you up without you ever having to get out of your car. They can assist you in registering to vote. So we're gonna try to roll that out on Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah. So like Joe said, you don't even have to get out your car. They'll come up to your car and they'll have a tablet and they'll assist you with registering to vote. And you can sit right in your car. Just make sure you bring your a valid ID, or in a, if you don't have an address on your their valid address on your ID, you just bring a piece of mail,
Mhm.
like a gas bill, or any type of bill payment. You can
Mhm.
be your phone bill,
Utility bills. Yep.
utility bills, bank statement,
Mhm.
something like that.
Check stub.
Check stubs, yes.
Yep.
And pull up, and we will definitely have someone out there to
Mhm.
help assist you to register to vote.
Absolutely.
So it is important for us to register and get our voices heard in the community, because the next topic that we're going to talk about, we want to hear from the community at 414-444-5250 or 414-444-5253. We want to hear from the community about how they felt about this debate.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people watched it. We've been talking about it all week, but one of the main things that I have been talking to people and we have highlighted was two things from both candidates. One, a question was asked of Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, um, that if a person wanted an abortion in a long term of 7, 8, or 9 months, would you allow them to have that abortion, and would you make that okay? And she would not respond. She was actually, I guess, irritated with Trump by that point.
Mm-hmm.
She wouldn't respond. That is a very important question for us in our community that we would want to know. This is my feelings. This is not the views of Wisconsin Voices or WNOV. Me, the only way that would be allowed is if it's for the mother's health, her life threatening, and she choose to do that. But me as a mother, how I really see a lot of people. It's not everybody, because there's no everybody in one category, but a lot of women that I know and I view would actually give up their life for their child.
Mm-hmm.
So I really wish she would have answered that question. That was a very important question.
Yeah,
And
I think the answer that I wanted to see was, that decision's between a woman and her doctor.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's not a politician's place to poke their nose into that business. That's between a woman and her physician, and what's best for the woman
that
in
is
that
so
situation.
true. You hit it on the head, Joe. And then a question with um Donald Trump. Um he made a statement which mainly every question that he was asked, he reverted it back to immigration.
Mm-hmm.
And I start figuring it out, Joe, that he wasn't just talking about illegal immigrants. He
Mm-hmm.
was talking about legal immigrants as well, just immigrants, period.
It was very subtle how that the illegal part dropped off of there.
Mhm.
And it went from we're talking about illegal immigrants to now we're just talking about immigrants.
Right.
And we heard some of the rhetoric, and some of the most outlandish rhetoric, which I'm going to dig into a little bit
Yes,
here.
because
But
that's what I want to get into, because these immigrants the rhetoric he was talking about. These are legal immigrants
Legal
that legally came
are
to this
here
country.
are here legally, correct.
And you're from
I
Ohio, so I
as
teased him when I walked in the door. I said, "Whoa, y'all in Ohio, y'all you people cats and dogs,
I,
my po pets."
I, 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 I took personal offense to it being an Ohio native. In my 45 years that I lived in the state of Ohio, I can tell you that not one time have I ever seen anyone's pets being eaten. I know we touched a little bit on this on Tuesday. But just some of the outlandish things that are said, and we kind of laugh about them now, but there's some direct results that happen because of this. The courthouse in Springfield had to be evacuated because of a bomb threat. They've had threats to their local school districts. And a lot of the Haitian migrants that are here legally are facing a lot of hate speech and really not being treated very well as a direct result of this rhetoric. So, when politicians are in these positions, or not even politicians, celebrities, or you're in that spotlight, you have a responsibility for what comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
And when you say things like this, there are direct results that hurt people.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that. One person that really spoke out well last night was John Legend, who, by the way, is from Springfield, Ohio.
Okay.
And he made a video last night and posted it on Instagram. And he said simply, nobody's eating cats, nobody's eating dogs. There are plenty of reasons why this might be a challenge for my hometown. But the bottom line is these people came to Springfield because there were jobs and they want to work. He went on to say they want to live the American dream, just like your German ancestors, your Irish ancestors, your Italian ancestors, your Jewish ancestors, your Jamaican ancestors, your Polish ancestors. All your ancestors who moved to this country, maybe not speaking the language that everyone else spoke, maybe not eating the same food, maybe not having to adjust, maybe having to adjust, or maybe having to integrate, but all coming because they saw opportunity for themselves and their families in the American dream.
And that is so true, because I can't say not a one of us that don't have ancestry that come from another country. We're all here as immigrants. We all started out as immigrants.
We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for immigration.
Right.
I mean, he also went on to say, what we're told to love our neighbor as we love ourselves and treat strangers as though they might be Christ. So how about we adopt that ethos when we talk about immigrants moving to our communities and don't spread hateful, xenophobic, racist lies about them?
And that is really true. And that one thing I liked about this debate is that those commentators, they were calling it out when they seen it. They was not leaving no hasteways. They were literally calling it out. Because I believe on that question, when he said that, when he made that comment that people from Springfield, Illinois said their pets, their personal pets were being eaten by the immigrants. The commentator, he actually said that is not true.
Yeah, they fact checked him live,
Yeah,
right in the middle of it.
Live. That's and actually he was the main one. I looked at the debate again. And they called her out too. They fact checked her on some things too.
Yeah.
So it was both. It wasn't one or the other. It was both. If they stretched something or said something out of the guidelines, I like those commentators. They actually fact check right then. Like, nope.
ABC did a fantastic job of hosting that debate. I think if we need a model as to how to host a debate, that's it right there. The moderators did a fantastic job, I thought.
Yes.
You mentioned the migrants and kind of what they're going through. Well, just today, Newsweek released an article that they actually went to Springfield and talked to a couple of the Haitian immigrants that are there.
I feel for them.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name because I would just butcher it. But I do have the name, and you can look the article up on Newsweek yourself. He said, I've been seeing a lot of people talking about a lot of stuff that's just not accurate. Saying like all Haitians are cutting ducks' necks and eating them at the park. Or like they're running into trash cans in homes and stuff. I've never seen any Haitian do that before, and I'm keeping it real because I'm Haitian. Another person also who graduated from Springfield High School and it now works at an Amazon warehouse nearby there. So he's been called a dirty Haitian and an illegal. Another immigrant said, the majority of us, we work in warehouse and factories. You can't imagine, you can't work there illegally. Obviously, we're legally working there.
Right, because they're here legal.
And we had this question earlier today before we came on the show. I said, how many generations do you have to live in America before you're considered American?
Remember, we just was saying that we wanted another debate.
Trump said is it no, 1? Is it 2? Is
Trump
it 3?
said no third debate. I bet you would.
No, he don't want to open that can of worms again. I don't think. And even the polls. If you look around, just the kind of the gauge, or from multiple media outlets, was that Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, won that debate hands down.
Right. She stayed on topic and she actually answered the questions. I wished Trump would have actually answered some of the questions that we needed to know. The rhetoric is like, it gets tiresome. It really do get tiresome at some point. And JD Vance is from Ohio.
Oh yeah.
Like you,
yep.
Joe. And at first I respected him, as a senator for, engaging in the work that he was doing in the Senate. But then when he became Trump's vice president, I started listening to him like, really? You just like singing the same tune with him and not even verifying this information with people. What is going on?
Well, I'll tell you in Ohio how he gained a lot of notoriety was the East Palestine train derailment that happened there, where they burned off a lot of chemicals. It was very hazardous to the water, to the soil. He was one of them that was on the forefront down there after the governor had said, well, it's cleaned up, and he went down and showed it's not cleaned up. There's still stuff in the river. There's still stuff in the creeks. And that gained him a lot of notoriety within Ohio. But, we didn't hear a lot of these policies when he was running for senator.
No,
we didn't hear this rhetoric. And as a matter of fact, if you go back and look at his record, he was talking disparagingly about Trump even during his Senate run and prior to his Senate run. So, you have to really look through the weeds sometimes when we're looking at these candidates. And going back to the debate, one thing that I really liked about Vice President Harris was she really laid her plan out, especially on the economy.
Yes.
She said exactly what she was going to do. And when asked the same questions, Trump said, I had a concept of a plan. Now, if I tell you, if you look at me and say, do you have a plan, Joe? And I say, well, I have a concept of one. Does that sound like a plan?
No, and that doesn't sound like somebody I want to run my whole country either.
No. And like I said, she laid her plan out ABC in front of all the American people. It was such a stark contrast between two candidates. I don't think I've ever seen such a stark contrast between two presidential candidates before.
I just really am trying to find, because this is all you hear from him. I was so interested in this debate because I really thought I was finna hear some of his plans and not just I know he was going to throw out his insults and tactics. I knew he was going to do that part. He always does. But I really thought I would hear some of his plan in this debate.
It's fear.
Yeah, I noticed that it's just fear based. Like, this is gonna be worse than ever, and putting me in office is gonna be the biggest, beautifulest thing ever. That's about all he could say to you.
But even talking to some of the folks from back in my hometown, which is a very rural, small town in Ohio, they're scared to death. They really think that where I live here in Milwaukee is a war zone. I mean, how do you survive up there? But it's because they played into all the propaganda that has been forced down their throat for so many years, that the big cities are full of crime, that they're overran by illegal immigrants, that you have no place to run and hide, and that nothing has been further from the truth. And I hope the one good thing about me moving to Milwaukee comes about this is that I'm an example of, you don't have to live in that fear.
Right.
You don't have to live in fear, because all of it is propaganda.
And
They're
really,
literally just feeding your head with fear, so that you live in that perpetual state of fear and you continue to vote in fear. And we shouldn't be voting in fear. We should be voting in confidence.
and you are correct. And that's really where I'm starting to see him. Because I was really interested. I was really trying to
Mm-hmm.
see, and this is my views, not the views of Wisconsin Voices or WNOV. I was trying to, I'm an independent, and I was trying to see what was his views, what was his economics plan, what was his climate control plan. Everything they asked him, what is his foreign diplomatic plan?
Mm-hmm.
Everything they asked him, he reverted back
To
to
immigrant.
immigration. Like, is that the only thing you see wrong? And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
he reverted back to that because that's the only thing that they've been hogwashing a lot of people on is
It's
immigration.
their go-to. It's their
Yeah.
it's their ace in the hole, because when things don't go right, and when the talking points aren't in your favor, flip it to immigration, because that's where we feel like we can win. And that's why he continually flipped that right back to immigration. Well, we're talking about the economy. Well, it's immigration. We're talking about education. Well, the reason your education isn't good is because of immigration. And it's just,
Yeah.
the more you listen to it, it's kind of their go-to. Well, we don't have nothing else, let's go back to immigration.
Hey, another thing about that, he made that comment again, and it's very insulting to me because I'm still trying to. Nobody has really explained to me what are Black or African American jobs and Hispanic jobs.
Right.
I'm really trying to
And we
understand
talked about that
what.
earlier this week
Yeah,
too, didn't
I
we?
don't understand what that means. Well, I understand
I
what it
understand.
means,
I understand
but
the prejudice behind
behind it,
that.
right?
Thinking that those jobs are only entry level.
Right. Oh,
You know.
and as they say, and we had a caller call in. If you remember what he said, the last to get hired, the first to get fired
Right.
jobs.
Right.
Uh, why would I be happy? Why would I fight over that job?
Right.
I want better for my kids, my grandkids, my family.
And it's about creating opportunity,
Opportunity,
so that
real
so that
opportunity.
folks can be successful.
Correct. Um, they talk a lot about Black capitalism. How could you have Black capitalism? Because you're going to need Blacks to own businesses and money to circulate within their communities for at least 3 cycles. How would you have Black capitalism if you don't have true Black opportunity?
Right.
You're
Oh, that's
literally
good.
saying
That's
these are
good.
Black jobs and Hispanic jobs. So you're saying this is the lowest of low jobs. Now, these immigrants is taking what I'm going to give you as your opportunity. That's pretty much what you're saying to
Right. Because you do lack the capacity to do any better, right?
me. Mm-hmm.
I mean, sarcastically, I'm saying that.
Right.
But
I know
I
that.
don't want
I
anybody
know
out there
that.
to think that that's how I
Yeah,
felt.
I
But
totally know that.
it's just
He's saying what they think. Yeah.
exactly. He's forming those thoughts without having to say the words.
Yeah. So that's what I really took out of that. I said, they keep continuously saying that. How you feel about that, Jermaine? They keep continuously saying that.
Listen, I've been saying that it's funny how he never says that they're coming to take the white jobs.
Mm-hmm.
It's always coming to take the black people jobs. And my thing is, the jobs he's talking about are the $4, $5, $6, $7 an hour jobs. That,
Right.
to be honest with you, black people are trying to get the 30, 40, and $50 hour jobs. It's not that
Mm-hmm.
black people are lazy. It's that they don't want the $5 an hour job.
They
and that
want
they got to
better
work. They
opportunities.
want better opportunity. They want career
There you
and
go.
not jobs. They want a
Right.
career
Yep.
because
Right.
then they can set their family up for the future.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know. It's real crazy to me that we have people that really follow this clown and
Yeah.
really endorse this dude. Like, and it's kind of scary because it's almost like, are you guys under some kind of trance or something that you don't see that this guy is really evil and he has underlying motives for he has motives for the stuff that he wants to put in place.
Yep.
And it's really scary that you have people that's going so hard for this guy.
But it's
Really?
fear. It's fear is what drives those folks. They
But
are in
then you
fear
gotta
of
think
things they don't know anything about.
And that's the scary thing
scary
about it,
thing about
because they still have to live under the same ruling, everybody else has to live
Right.
Yeah.
under. So it's like you don't see what this guy is trying to do,
Mhm.
but then if you put him in office and this stuff start happening, now it's the I mean, but it's too late for that.
Yeah.
Right.
It is totally too late.
Mhm.
And they keep relying on this one statement: MAGA, make America great again. When was America great
I've been
for
saying that.
African Americans or Hispanics? Please tell me, when was America great for African Americans?
Yeah, for any other demographic other than
Any other,
White.
yeah,
other
Yeah.
than white.
any other
The-
BIPOC
than a
community
white
other
male.
than white
Yeah.
males. Even white females in America haven't been great too. You're still not getting paid.
See, but I've been saying this forever. When he came out with that, let's make America great again, I said, well, when has it ever been great for us? Because
Mhm.
it's never been great. Like, we still haven't got the 40 acres and a mule. At least give us a donkey or something. Give us something.
Right.
At least 1 acre.
Man, give
Just
me
1 acre.
a fifth of it. Give me something. I mean, and I mean, though, it's almost to the point that you use black people to build the White House, and then you name it the White House, to slap it in the black people face. It's like, give us something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See what I'm saying? Give us
Yep.
something.
Yep.
And it's just, I I don't get it. It's very, very, very disturbing that it's just disturbing.
All right, Kirby. You got a question? You got to come to the mic.
Garvey B speaking.
So we talk a lot about what Trump got going on and how he treats the society and everything. But let's say Kamala get elected. What do you guys see happening for us as a unity when Kamala is elected?
She has no plan for the black community,
No, as a unity. Like as our
To
for
bring
our
more
country,
unity
for our
for the
country.
country.
for the country.
What do you see Kamala doing for our country? Because we know what Donald Trump want to do for our country.
Mhm.
We
Well,
know.
I don't think you hear that rhetoric, though, that divisive rhetoric with her. I think you hear that, we need to come together. We need to do this together. We can make this country really, really great for everybody,
Mhm.
but we have to come together. We have to set some of our differences aside, and we have to do what's best for our country.
And I really feel like she's more of a moderate Democrat. So she will actually probably open some doors and work with Republicans. That is something that I see people are missing now. That is just like pouting babies on both sides. If I don't have my way, I'm not voting for nothing. I'm not voting to support you, and both sides. So it
Mhm.
seems like that she will open up the door to kind of communicate with them some.
That sound like, to me, that sounds like because basically you're saying she willing to work with the opposite, but my guy Trump not, and that sounds just like, I don't know, like,
One sided.
yeah, one sided.
One sided.
It's one sided.
It's almost as if you have one candidate that's saying, "Hey, unity and peace, we need to come together because we can get more done if we are together."
Mhm.
Mhm.
And it's this slogan that I go by. I can go fast by myself, but I can go further with
With
people.
others.
Right.
So
Mhm.
it's more like she's operating under that, and you got Trump that's me, 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 and all of this is going to happen. They are destroying our country, and you got people eating dogs, cats, and ferrets, and all type of stuff that's
Mhm.
going on. I'm confused because you're saying this, but then though you say you see it on TV. Well, I saw Bigfoot on TV. I don't think
Mhm.
Mhm.
Bigfoot is real.
Mm-hmm.
And anymore with
And then-
AI, you don't know what to believe when you see it.
And then to be honest with you, all this time, all these years, he been saying TV is fake. The
Yeah.
news, TV, all is fake
right.
news, fake TV.
My mom used to
Wow.
say, she used to say, believe half of what you see and none of what you
What
hear.
you hear.
None of what you hear.
And then so let us take a break real quick.
Yeah.
This is Be a Voice with Wisconsin Voices, WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. All right, we're back. We're back. And this is Friday. Thank God it's Friday,
Oh,
y'all.
yeah. Woo, I'm ready for the weekend.
Yes, this is Be a Voice with Wisconsin Voices. This is WNOV 860 AM, 106.5. I'm here with my boy Dre,
Yeah.
my boy Jermaine, and Carter. And we all been sitting here discussing true politics
Yeah.
for the black community. Um 70%
Yeah.
of
Over.
We could
over.
just
of
look.
It's over. Though. You
prisons,
can actually pull it up.
yeah,
It's over 70%
percent of prisons are African American.
filled with African
American men. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Bro,
Yeah,
it's
you're a
a
statistic.
You're not
privilege.
lucky. You're blessed that you decided to do something different.
Yep, because if
Yeah.
you were still operating and making choices that some of your peers are doing, your chances of prison is higher than 50%.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
So how
Actually,
crazy
in
is that?
most young black men that come before a judge, that is what he's thinking about doing.
Automatically.
It's teaching them a lesson automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Any other race, it literally looks at it like, let's weigh the
Give 'em a-
pre-sentence
give 'em a chance.
investigation.
Give him a
They
chance.
look at it like, oh, his pre-sentence investigation, he just needed a slap on the
You need a
wrist and
slap
he'll
on the
be
wrist.
right back in. Your pre-sentence will be 10 times harsher, and they'll be like, the only way they're going to learn is if you send them to prison.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So just for the exact figure, there was a study done in 2022. Blacks made up 38.8% of the population in Wisconsin. This is just Wisconsin.
Mm.
However, blacks only make up about 6% of the total state's population. So, that's just
No, in
in
Wisconsin.
Just in Wisconsin.
No,
Now,
we're just
we
talking
make
our
up
state.
6%, our population outside of prison.
Yeah.
But we make up 38% in prison.
Wisconsin.
in prison.
In
So-
just in
so
Wisconsin.
think
Just
about
in
that.
Wisconsin.
We make up almost half in prisons, and then that's not
But
including
you're
all
saying-
other races.
yeah.
That's 6 times.
Mhm.
Right.
Think about that.
6 times as much people that's living out here is
Yeah.
in prison.
Mhm.
Yep.
Wow.
Think
Yeah.
about it.
Statistically, yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
just here in Wisconsin.
And we're going to talk about it more Monday, guys,
Yeah, we
because
could
we
dig
really
into
want to
that
dig
quite a
into
bit.
that quite a bit, and we want to start getting into why politics are really important for us to get out here and vote, because we wouldn't have her or him if we actually voted or put somebody in that we wanted to see represent
For the
us.
people.
For the people. And Jermaine had a good point. We're not going to talk about it now, but that was a perfect point. Nothing's never going to change for us. It's just how to cope and make it better. But this is Be a Voice with Wisconsin Voices. My co-host,
Yes.
Joe Dre. I enjoyed you today.
Oh, enjoy you always.
We thank Mabel Lamb from
Mhm.
Sherman Park Association coming in.
Jermaine
and
Carvey.
Jermaine and Carvey. Our conversation today was very wholesome. This is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. We will see y'all Monday. Have a good weekend.